All right, hello, I'm Mr. Santamont, and today I'm going to show you part 2 of drivers, how to draw drivers. And so we're going to start off with somebody who is driving straight at us, or the camera is going straight through the windshield towards the driver, so it's just a pretty straightforward shot. We have the dashboard here that is going to be like a little bump. Depending on the car, of course, there'd be variations. Now, just a note, I have sped this video up twice speed, so feel free to pause if I'm going too fast. I just felt that 16-18 minutes of this video was really slow. So anyway, I'm drawing the knuckles for this person's hand. Now notice the size of the hands are very exaggerated, but this is just to help emphasize that the hands are closer to us than the head. By the way, I'm not specializing or focusing on head, so I know it looks very basic and simple compared to the knuckles that are very detailed. And also I just obliterated a collar that I drew incorrectly, and then I realized I'm just going to shade in the steering wheel, so I don't even need to worry about collar details, so don't worry about all that. There's a little part of the steering wheel there. We're going to draw the side of the car where the window meets the frame, and then the roof, and don't forget your seat belt. We're going to make sure we put that in there. Alright, moving on, we're going to do this next one, which is going to be like a 3/4 view of somebody driving. So this person is like, it's still, they're facing us. It's as if we are, it's kind of a tricky one because the steering wheel will appear to be floating on this one. You'll see what I mean here. We have the person sitting upright, very proper seated position there. They're very alert on the road. All right, so we're going to have the steering wheel. I'm just kind of trying to get it consistent. And then I'm going to draw the inner part of the wheel itself. So it's, and then we have the main central part of the steering wheel. And this is drawn from a photo reference. And I don't remember where the reference that I was drawing from ended with the steering column. Anyway, we have the hand hooked around the wheel, the forearm. And I'm drawing, it's kind of tricky with all these poses because you have realistic hands, but you have my cartoony style of head, like larger head than usual. So it's a bit of a hybrid for this just because the hands are very important when drawing drivers, the hands on the wheel and what the hands are doing. So these are just some hyper-realistic, some detailed knuckles wrapped around the top of the wheel. On the other side, there's a thumb there and the pinky. Not happy with it. It got a little too dense with detail, so I'm going to just try to simplify it as much as I can. So a redrawing is sometimes part of the process. This comic I'm working on, this graphic novel book deal, 3B Honey, I will draw every character sometimes 5 or 6 times, and then even after I sketch them, when it comes to the inking part, I will ink them. I'll use the ink line and undo tool several times on every single line. It is a very labor-intensive process, so that's just part of drawing. You just have to be patient and appreciate the process. All right, I have the seat there behind the driver. That's pretty much it for this one. You can see just kind of focusing on the driver's hands, like they're making a left turn or something, or I don't know. All right, this next one is going to be driver facing us, but one hand on the wheel. And so we'll have the same beginning on this one. I do have a little bit more of a jawline here, or like a little bit more of a stretched face. Still looks very cartoony and simple, but again, not focusing on facial details, so be nice to me on that. All right, now notice I have the shoulders tilted. So in this case, we have the hand on the wheel. Typically, we're going to raise our shoulder on the part, the hand that's, the side that's holding the wheel. So I'm deciding where I want to put the knuckles. In this case, they're drawn a bit smaller. If I were to do this again, I probably would have made them a little bigger just to exaggerate that they are in the foreground. And then I'm going to draw the steering wheel through the hand. Typically, I'll draw the steering wheel first. That's probably my better advice, is to draw the structure first and then draw the person interacting with the structure. But in this case, it's okay, it's just a little half circle. And then we'll see that little bump in the dashboard. So we have all the controls presumably behind the steering column or on the sides. And then we won't see the other hand. We'll see maybe a little shirt collar there. And I'm just gonna draw the roll, the like half oval of the shoulder. We won't even see the forearm. Although if I were to do this again, I probably would draw a forearm like half oval extended to the right of those knuckles. Just a little bit of foreshortening there. In this case, it looks like the driver has their arm extended straight towards the camera. But I think just for artistic license sake, for more believability, I would probably put the elbow out just a little bit. All right, gotta get that seatbelt in there. There's a diagonal for the seatbelt. Safety first, kids. And then look, the shoulder on the other side is dropped down, and that's possibly because they're driving a stick shift. So speaking of stick shift, this next one is going to be a person driving, and this is a tricky angle. This is from below. So like if you are in the passenger seat, but like the footbed, the area where you rest your feet, looking up at the driver. So this is a very dynamic angle. So we're drawing the dreaded underneath the jawline, which is notoriously difficult for artists. In fact, if you look at any animated series or comic series, very rarely will you see the underside of a character's jawline. Artists try to avoid it because it is a very weird, ambiguous space. All right, we have the forearm larger than the upper arm just because of foreshortening. And then this hand is going to be on the stick shift. So manual cars are, unfortunately, where I live in the United States, mostly a thing of the past. I used to drive, I was taught how to drive using stick shift, and it's such a satisfying, customizable driving experience. It's more efficient. You can save, I don't know, it's more fun. It's just more entertaining, I think, to be able to completely control the car's speed and traction and what's the word I'm looking for, gears, I guess. Just shifting the gears just gives you more control of the vehicle's performance. All right, there's a line behind there, and that's actually where the window meets the roof. So we are, just to show that we are so low that we're seeing the character's head in front of the ceiling of the car and also in front of the window. And then I'm drawing the fingers, the hands that are kind of gripping, just loosely gripping the steering wheel. And then we'll have the hands more intensely gripping this stick shift knob. And I think now is a good time for an old story about cars, my history with cars. So my first car, I was lucky to have a 1965 Mustang, Ford Mustang. It was started off blue, and we got it custom painted to be red, candy apple red. Beautiful car. My dad and I, we restored the car together, and even down to reupholstering the seats and bringing it to its former glory. Anyway, I would take the car on dates, and two dates in particular stand out. One of them, I was taking the girl on the date, and I said, I need to stop and get gas if you don't mind. And I'd been out with this girl for a few times, but this particular time, the car just decided to quit. It just completely failed. Started smoking out of the transmission box, or the shift, the little gear shaft, I guess. So we had to cancel the date. By the way, I'm drawing a hand close up on the stick shift, so it's kind of self-explanatory. The second time, I was taking a girl on a date, and we were kind of in a remote area, and the car decided again to just stop. And it was weird because the performance of this car was very consistent, and it was the only times it failed were on two dates with two different girls. And so it's almost, I always tell the story as if the car decided that it was not a good choice for me. So not saying anything about, the girls, but just not a good choice. That's the diplomatic way of saying it. So of course it didn't work out, but luckily I ended up with my beautiful wife. So happy ending. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't.